So earlier today, we had an officer conducting a traffic stop here in the vicinity of North Tryon. And at that time, shots were fired and the officer returned shots. I was notified because I was at the detention center checking on the staff and responded to the hospital and was there when the officer arrived. He arrived in good condition. He was alert and he was talkative at the time. And he was not taken to surgery at that moment. It was also said that a person that also had some injuries arrived at another hospital and was brought down to the main hospital, and he is a suspect in this investigation. He is currently in surgery, and the officer is still going through tests and examinations. But what I would like to say first is I want to thank CMPD. I want to thank the fire department. I want to thank Medic, and I want to thank the Highway Patrol. And I also want to thank an officer by the name of Topper. Officer Topper works for CMPD and was the first officer on the scene and rendered aid to my deputy. As I was responding to the hospital, I had a chance to respond with deputies, highway patrolmen, and CMPD and arrived to the hospital prior to my deputy getting there. And I'm very proud of the staff at Atrium. And I'm also proud of Atrium Security. They conducted themselves in a very professional manner. But this is the type of world that we live in. We just had a conversation with the White House and some other sheriffs about the violence that's in our cities each and every day. But today I can tell you that I'm very proud to be a first responder. I'm very proud to be in law enforcement. And I couldn't be more prouder to watch two agencies, law enforcement, working together with also the Highway Patrol. But for Medic and the fire department and Atrium staff to assist us in this incident. So I'm very thankful for them and very thankful for the staff that supported my staff when they got there, because it was very emotional. This is an officer that I know very well. This is an officer who has had dinner at my house during Thanksgiving and Christmas, so this is very near and dear to my heart. My staff is very near and dear to my heart, and for me to go through this as a leader today is very difficult. But this is a very fluid investigation. We don't have all the facts yet. I'm going to rely on my partners across the street, CMPD, to bring the case together. I have not seen any footage, don't have all the documentation. And when I leave here, I'm going to meet with CMPD and their detectives, which I have the ultimate confidence in working forward. I've spoken with District Attorney Merriweather, and he assured me that I need to review the videos and talk with the staff. So we have very little information at this time other than what happened, and have to be careful because this is a fluid investigation, and I do not want to jeopardize anything that will not bring justice to this case.
What were, we were told you were at roll call before you came here. What was the conversation with the other deputies at roll call? What was there? Did they express concern? What was?
Well, law enforcement is a very close-knit family, and today was a perfect example of that. So before any rumors happen or before someone give them some misconstrued information, I wanted to meet with my deputies and meet with my detention officers and give them encouragement, because what's going to happen is this. The detention officers still have to work tonight with people who have committed violent crimes. At some point in time, that the suspect will maybe be in our custody, and so I have to get their minds straight, get their minds right, and being very professional. But it is an emotional time because these people are just coming to work, and they're working, and if everybody knows, we've been through a very tough time. And so I was with my staff earlier today for 2 or 3 hours. I was with them last night just to be there for an encouragement. But I was glad I was there when the call went out, because I prepared my staff, and I'm hoping to continue to prepare my staff for what they're going to go through at this moment.
Sheriff, did you say anything about the nature of the traffic stop? Did this other gentleman have warrants or something like that out of him?
We don't have that information yet. And like I said, I haven't went to and talked with CMPD yet, but we knew there was some type of confrontation, and we don't know how that I don't know the particulars of that yet, but we will find out, and we will probably come back to you and give you more information. But I'm going to respect CMPD and Chief Jennings and his staff for them to give you more information. And if you know my background, I have to do that because we don't want to jeopardize anything in this investigation.
How many times was the officer shot?
We don't have a number of times he's been shot. They still were working on him when I left the hospital.
Non-life
I don't want anything time you are shot, it is life-threatening, so you're never out of the woods. And you know, that's what we are concerned about. We're talking about injuries, we're talking about blood clot, we're talking about anything like that. Still, from my perspective, if you're shot, it's always life-threatening.
Did you say anything about the day, if you were able to talk to your deputy, and you talked about how close you guys are, and you know what kind of spirits he was in and all that?
For me, this is very emotional because I was outside the ER room the entire time. I talked with his family, who is not here. I spoke with my deputy 3 or 4 times. Personally, we talked. Personally, I told him what I was going to do to make sure that his family arrived. We joked about something happened at my house to try to keep his spirit up. He gives me the thumbs up. But I thought it was very important for me to be there when he arrived, when he came from out of medic, and he was in good hands. And you know, but he was in good spirits when I left.
Does this officer or this deputy patrol this area a lot?
Our deputies have zones, and this is a very good deputy that I know him personally. His training kicked in with CMPD Officer Topper. I can't give him much. I mean, much. I'm very happy that he was on the scene. So these are very professionals. This is an area that my deputy patrols, and it's part of his job. We have a dangerous job no matter how you look at it.
And Sheriff, you said that you guys were close. This goes beyond him just being a deputy and officer. Can you tell us about his character?
Yes. When I became sheriff, I wanted to be close to my staff no matter what anybody says or how they look at us. So each Thanksgiving or Christmas, all deputies who working the road eat at my home. And this is what they have been doing for the last 3 years. So we alternate Thanksgiving and Christmas. And so we live a very tough life. I receive a lot of threats when I became sheriff, and he was a deputy who came to my house to make sure that I was all right. So he was a customer coming by, visiting, making sure that me and my wife was safe. And so we have a very close relationship with I have a very close relationship with a lot of my deputies, and he's one of them who came by often just to check or just to have conversations.
And how do you think he's going to pull through this?
I think he will be fine. You know, he needs his spirits lifted. That's why we did a couple of things there, not to get too personal, but you know, I made sure that his mother knew that we were going to take care of her son. I talked to her, and I talked to his sisters and his family, and I allowed him to talk to his mother on my phone. So I made sure that, tell your mother that you're fine and you're being taken care of.
That's good, y'all. Just one final question. You mentioned that the suspect ended up in the hospital. Can you clarify, did he drive himself or someone, like, he was taken by hospital?
There were 2 different locations, so I don't have all the particulars, but I think he went to another hospital and then was transported to Atrium, Maine.
On his own?
I'm not sure how he got to the first location, but he was transported by medic to the Maine.
Thank you. Thank y'all.
Thank you all.
Thank you.
Thank you, Sheriff.
Thank you, Sheriff.